Yeah.
Yeah.
Something she made up. Well,
So-
anyway, yeah, my name is Nicholas Tanek.
Yes.
In the dark.
I just think it's funny.
Yes.
Okay.
And I bought my book.
The coolest way to kill yourself.
Yes.
Amazon.
On Amazon now.
Yeah, buy it. We've pimped that out a lot, I think.
Oh
right?
yeah. I did. The only reason I'm mentioning it really, well, for two reasons. A, I do want to promote it, but it deals with the fetish community.
Okay.
It deals with BDSM, the fetish community, and there's a journey that I took in this book. It's a character arc where, like, through most of the book, I want to be kinky with people. I want to, or just my wife, you know, and
Right.
And like once we got married, it was like all I wanted was for Christmas was for her to wear a French maid outfit.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all going to go out sometime in our French maid outfit.
Okay.
You too.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So, you know, and like she got me, there's an anecdote in the book, and I think this sets up the whole thing with the BDSM episode, is that all I wanted was her to wear a French maid outfit with the garter belts and stockings. That's it. The cheapest French maid outfit's like $15 or $10 or something like that. You can get a real cheap one in a Halloween store. You can get ones for like $500 too, you know. And then I remember like when my birthday comes around, she gets me a camera, which is like $100 or something like that, a digital camera. So like immediately I thought that's, you know, $85 that she spent not to have sex in a beautiful and kinky way, you know.
Right.
On Christmas comes around, she buys me this huge TV. It's probably $1,000. You know? I'm serious. It's a wonderful smart TV, huge. And I was just doing the math. That's like she did, like, you know, what's it, like
New TV?
no, like $985 to not have sex in a fun, kinky way. You know, like that's how much she spent. You know,
Right.
but all I really wanted was
Kinky sex.
was her in a French maid outfit. And, you know, and when she showed me the big box, and I thought it was like this huge French maid kit or something like that. And then I opened it was like, so basically what I'm saying is that there are people who are interested in this scene and in this community, and whether it's in a social way or just in their significant other way, you know, it takes an open mind, and there are people out there who want to experience it, and they don't have the what's the word, the confidence, or they feel shame or
yeah, I think it's a lot of shame and embarrassment.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to get past. You have to kind of step back and go, I'm a pervert and I'm proud of it. I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed by it. This is what turns me on. This is what I like to do. And if you don't like it, then, you know, hey, it's not for you, but it's what I get off on.
exactly. Well put.
So Luna there with a save. Did you always feel before you realized this that something was lacking in your sex life, both of you, like, or something was wrong with you as people? Like, was it an inner search kind of thing?
I didn't get into it till maybe about 4 or 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I think there was always that curious side, but again, I wasn't there yet. I wasn't ready. I didn't have somebody that I trusted enough to take that step with. And that's what it is, you know, in the community. A big part of it is trust. You have to trust the person you're with, because if you don't, you could get hurt. People get hurt.
And the thing is that trust eventually evolves into a beautiful, beautiful thing, where it's like a trust that you don't get with other people, and you put the bond in bondage, so to speak.
How so? How's it a trust like on any other?
People, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but when you're in the community and you're in that kind of a relationship, it's the best relationship, because it's all about trust, honesty, and communication. You have to have those elements, because again, if you don't, there's the potential for someone to get hurt. And that's really the foundation of any really, really good relationship. So think about people you know who aren't kinky and the issues that they have in their relationships, and say, well, let's see, if they had a little more trust, honesty, and communication, how much better would their relationship be? They really are the best relationships because you have those elements.
And the thing is, like, for example, in the coolest way with Lynn, it's a real relationship. Once we started getting very, very kinky, she saw an extremely vulnerable side in me, and I saw the most vulnerable side in her. So that branched out into everything, everything from how we think about our families to even politics to movies. We were brutally honest with each other, and because we kept on being kinky, like there was this trust involved where I knew that she would never lie to me, and I would never even dare lie to her. And it was just
because there's no reason.
There's no reason to. Yeah, there's no reason to. And once you see someone and you have trust with someone, and you see them as a vulnerable person, and they see you as a vulnerable person, and you can share that trust. It just changes the whole dynamic. It opens up kind of like these beautiful floodgates of in this relationship where like you could depend on that person to be who they are because you know exactly who they are.
Exactly.
So Luna, are you going to show your face to the camera again? Because I can only see your right breast.
Oh, come on. They're nice.
I know they are. They're not enhanced, right? Are they
No.
they're natural?
All
Okay.
natural.
So what was the journey like to discover that this was what you were into? Like how is it like did you realize you were dominant or submissive? And
I got involved in this with DT. He was a dominant, but with a very much a submissive side. He really wanted me to explore the dominant side. And that's how I came to realize that I am in no way or shape or form a dom. I can be a little controlling at times, but yeah, really.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm a submissive. That's what I learned about myself, and I enjoy it. I enjoy pleasing the men in my life.
And with me, I was always crazy into sex ever since I was going through puberty. I mean, I had Showtime when I was a kid, and I just had cable in my room. I was lucky enough to have cable in my room, and on Showtime at Saturday nights, I wasn't going out on Saturday nights when I was going through puberty. They showed these foreign movies.
Yeah.
Oh, foreign.
Yeah, these foreign erotic movies with women in corsets, and there were castles, and women were getting whipped, and men were getting whipped by women, and like Venus in Furs and Story of O and stuff like that. And that was always in my life, and for most of my teenage years and my 20s, the women I was with, they loved being dominated. They loved it. I was more successful, meeting women and being with women by being the dominant alpha male. And I have a very, very dominant personality in my life, in everyday life. I don't consider myself a dom or a sub. I just consider myself kinky, just open-minded through sex. I could switch, but for majority of my life, I was very, very, very dominant. And it wasn't until Lynn and I got back together, many years, like 15 years later, we started to honestly explore BDSM and fetish culture, where she completely got dominant and I got submissive only in the bedroom,
right?
You know what I mean? Or only for sexual purposes. And that opened up a whole new world, because I felt like, oh, we're doing this now. This is great. Like I remember like the night after we did it, we sat watching TV in the morning, and I made her breakfast and everything like that, and we're looking and we did like really, really over the line kinky stuff that none of us had done before, and we're like, what do you want to talk about it? And she's like, yeah. Like, wasn't it great? And we're like, yeah, it was awesome. It was wonderful. It was fun. And we just had this wonderful, and it just like set up this future for us of just like, yeah, we're gonna really get kinky, and we're gonna do all the stuff we're gonna buy. Corsets and outfits and wigs and male chastity devices and dildos and strap-ons and all this crazy stuff. And, but we switched it around, and that kind of gave us a balance in life. And we honestly started to feel enlightened. We looked at life differently. We looked at relationships in different ways.
That's exactly what it is.
Is what? To look at life differently?
To be enlightened. It's a wonderful feeling to not just the physical gratification of it and the mental gratification, but just to be able to say, to be honest with yourself. It's not just about being honest with your partner. It's about being honest with yourself and accepting yourself for who you are and what you are and what you what you feel.
And the freedom of it. I mean, even in the submissive capacity, there's freedom in those ropes. You know?
As a submissive, you have to understand, really, in my opinion, the submissive holds the power, because the submissive is the one that sets the limits. These are the soft limits. This is what you can push. These are the hard limits. You don't cross this line. Everything else is fair game. But it really comes down to it is the submissive, by setting those limits.
Tell them about your questionnaire.
I have, it's not a questionnaire.
No, an application.
I have an application for prospective DOMs that I make them fill out.
She makes them fill an application. She makes a DOM.
Because, and listen, this is
That's awesome.
The first thing I need to know is whether or not you're a Cowboys fan. Because if you're a Cowboys fan, you can go fuck yourself. Okay. The second thing I need
can understand that.
The second thing I need to know is your birth information, because I'm going to look at your your natal chart.
Yeah, she's into that.
Because I'm into that.
Okay.
Then comes the psych eval. It's like a question. It's one of those questions they throw at serial killers.
Oh yeah? What did he do?
Because I want to know if you're a potential dangerous person. You know, then we get into like likes, dislikes, music, kink, things like that. Then there's the opinion question, I guess I would call it. In an epic fight to the death, who would win? Deadpool or Lobo?
Uh-huh.
It makes you think. And then comes the essay. I require an essay. Why you think I should let you. What makes you a good dom? Why should I let you be my dom?
Do they bring this home? Is this like take home work, or do they do this all?
I'll email it to them and expect them
She puts them in a little school desk.
This is the thing. It's not just a way for me to gauge the things I need to know. It's also a way for me to gauge if you get my sense of humor. Because if you get my sense of humor, I have a very unique sense of humor. If you don't get my humor, you know, seriously, like when I start talking to a guy and he says, well, you know, can I see a picture of you? Because I don't post my face on Fed. The first picture I send them is the picture that came from the Asbury Park zombie walk. It's me zombified. If you don't get my humor, you shouldn't be talking to me. Right.
Wow, you actually give your future doms, you give them homework, huh? And
that's my way of what do you say? Topping from the bottom.
Topping from the bottom.
That's where I get, because once I agree to be a submissive, you know, it's they can do what they want pretty much. There aren't that many things that I say no to.
Really?
Which is fun. That's why I say to the boys when I meet boys and I get together with them, I'm like, okay, what's that one thing you've always wanted to do that other girls wouldn't let you do? Because chances are I'm going to let you do it.
Okay. I mean, like, where's the limit for you? Is it like animals and shit like that, or?
Yeah, no, I'm not really gonna fuck an animal. Hard limits are the hardcore. You know, no water sports, no scat, no blood play, no permanent marks.
When she says scat, she's not talking about like jazz gibberish.
Scooter up, yeah.
Well, there are people that are into that. You know, no weapons and needles, things like that.
Even FetLife, you know, I don't know if no one knows, if people aren't watching this aren't familiar with it. FetLife is a website. It's like a Facebook for kinky people, and it's huge. It's probably one of the, you said it maybe the biggest one.
It has to be.
It's the biggest. Yeah, it's FetLife. It's yeah. Even they don't like scat.
Yeah.
They
not many people do. You know, I mean, to each his own. But nonetheless, listen. If a guy wants to tie me up, great. You want to beat my ass with a paddle, great. I might go so far as let you play with a whip. I've done that. I don't really enjoy it, but you know, it's about what pleases you. You know, you want to fuck my ass, fuck my ass. You want me to go ass to mouth? I'll go ass to mouth. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
they love that.
This reminds me. You're talking about eating butt. The Chris Gethard had a whole show. Go online. Go on. Yeah, he's great. Oh, we saw him live.
Yeah.
Go online and just type in Chris Gethard. Eat more butts. They had a whole parade of people just go down New York City, and it got big too. And they're just chanting, "Eat more butts." Eat more butts. You're a funny dude.
Wow. So, but you are, Nicholas. You are the complete opposite of the spectrum than Luna of the Dark. You are. But you're not submissive, right? You're.
Did you finish reading The Coolest Way?
I didn't yet. The second half of the book, I'm kind of mired like the Nazis at Stalingrad. You know, like I'm in the ice. It's a lot of suck my pussy, fuck my pussy. Let's go to Bambergers and I'll have a dildo with you, and you know, I'm getting through it. I'm getting through it. I just I'm getting through it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing is it gets, like I said, I've been sexually, I've been dominant for a majority of my life. And then in the last couple of years, Lynn and I really got into femdom.
Right.
That she's in control and that I worship her.
And it's fun being submissive, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And it goes to a place where, I mean, like if you're a lazy man,
right?
You know what I mean? It's great because you don't have to make any decisions at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it goes real far, real deep in the book about, you know, femdom, everything from you know, forced cross-dressing, male chastity, even some pegging and stuff like that. You know, it's not really graphic or anything like that, but it's there and it's just, you know, it's described.
And does that change as you get older? I mean, is it like, I mean, do your turn-ons or what you want to do they fluctuate, or do they?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Mark Maron is a comedian, and he has this bit about porn brain. You know, where you're going through porn and like first you see, you know, a woman and a man, you know, and they're naked and it's, you know, and then you keep on clicking and you see like a woman in a corset, and then the man is, I don't know, wearing a latex suit, and then you see, you know, like something like really, really insane. You see like two women, and then the man is like tied up upside down, and they're shoving things in him. You know what I mean? It's like wow. Yes, kink evolves, sexuality evolves, and I think that's really exciting, actually, because I've done like a lot of the stuff that I've done in the book when it comes to like male chastity or the forced cross-dressing or even the pegging or stuff like that. I mean, it comes in later in the book, so it's not shocking for people.
Right.
And especially the male chastity thing, I think I didn't mean it to be, but it becomes symbolic because I didn't want to be monogamous to her. Then at the end, she ends up owning me. As like, I mean, so, but even, and now the book is done, you know, there are parts of the book, the parts of those kinks that still really, really excite me and interest me, but they don't define me. You know what I mean? Me personally, I'm fascinated with fetish culture and BDSM culture.
Right.
I don't think it should be scary. I mean, it could be scary for some people, but the people in the community, most of them are very pleasant, are very open-minded, and are very kind people. You get a lot. There are plenty of creeps out there, as in any community, and everybody should be safe. Everybody should be careful, definitely. But
safe.
Yeah.
Safe, sane, and consensual.
Safe,
That's
sane, and consensual.
what it is.
But you're talking about the evolution of some, you know, of kinks and interests. Yes, it does change. When I was young, I mean, I just was fascinated with women in lingerie. I mean, I remember catalogs. You're growing up.
Sure.
You know, you didn't have the internet, so you had catalogs. I'd get like the Macy's catalog. First thing I'd go to before the toys for Christmas, I'd look at the women in the garter belts. You know what I mean?
Look at it this way too. Right now, we're coming into, as time progresses on, the generations now are much more open-minded and free-thinking. So it's becoming more of an accepted thing. It's not something that you feel you have to keep hush-hush, because if your neighbors find out, you know, they're going to, you know, ban you and exile you from the community. And, you know,
Right.
It's a much more open and accepted thing now than it was even probably 10 years ago.
What I also think is interesting is that it's more accessible now. It's more obtainable now. Like back in the days of Betty Page, which I'm of course I'm a fan of. You know, like men had to go into like, you know, like magazine shops and ask for the stuff behind the counter.
Right.
Or go through like, you know, there was a special room with like saloon doors, you know, something like that. And
sawdust on the floor.
Yeah. You get, and I remember as a kid going through puberty, someone had like, for some reason, there's always magazine. Like I think kids leave magazines in the woods because they want to like purge when they, you know, they shouldn't have it. So they like, you know, and you go through the magazine and that was it. That's all you were able to get exposed to, you know. But now, just on a keyboard and a click of a mouse, you can get anything. You get any, like you. And I was talking to Luna about 4chan. I was trying to explain what 4chan is. Like you could not only get anything just on the regular internet, like the weirdest stuff on like on the internet, but you can get like illegal stuff on the internet. You know what I mean? It's so much easier for people. So porn and kink is the dark side of it, and the fun side of it is so much more accessible now than it was.
Oh, is that deep web stuff you're talking about? You're talking about like how do you, like my friends at Hard Grove Internet Radio were talking about, like, how do you get there? Do you know, like, is there a way to
start going on 4chan?
What's that website?
4chan, yeah, that's where like Anonymous was born.
Okay.
You know, and there's a bunch of other things. I'll send you links. I don't want to like broadcast it, you know, everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are tour websites. You know, and you could most of it, believe it or not, most of it is drugs. People wait for people to buy drugs, and then there's other people to wait to buy porn, and then illegal porn. I'm not, you know, I'm pretty sure people buy weapons. You know, can get illegal weapons. You know, through the dark web.
Wow.
Like I said, it's dark web, so it's like it's dark territory. But if anyone's looking just to get into anything dealing with safe BDSM fetish culture, just go on FetLife.
Yeah.
FETLIFE.com. It's just like Facebook. It's just like Facebook, except there's a lot of breasts, and there's a lot of vaginas, a lot of cocks.
There's a lot of cocks. Every guy up there pretty much has like the cock shot, and it's like,
I don't.
You don't. But you're okay with having your face out there because you've come clean with your life.
Yes.
You know, my mom is still alive, and God forbid.
My mom's still alive.
Your mother knows. My mother, Ethan, you know my mom.
Yeah.
My mother would. I can't even imagine.
Let me see your face, Luna. Come down. There you go. Let me tell you something. Look at that beautiful face. That's why you need to be in the shot. Look at her. I would pay $80, and I'd buy your mother breakfast at the Scotchwood Diner. If I would have filmed you and her, you to tell her your whole lifestyle. Like if she'd be like, "Hello, honey, Jesus loves you," and you'd be like, "Man, I got ass fucked so hard last night."
Listen, I sat down one afternoon with my mom. She was watching one of those Lifetime movies about some preacher who wanted his wife to dress up like a prostitute, and my mother sat on the couch the entire time going, "Oh my, oh that's terrible. Oh, what a horrible man. Oh, I can't believe." And I thought, "Oh, Mom, if you only knew. If you only knew."
She probably knows.
Throwing on some sexy lingerie for a guy is like the tip of the iceberg for me. You know, last weekend my friend came over and he had me tied up in ropes.
Oh, you should see the pictures.
Yeah, and it was fun. You know.
Yeah.
It sounds funny, but it's very liberating.
Oh, of course, yeah. There's a lot of freedom.
Absolutely
in
helpless.
And consensual bondage.
Submit and give over that power to someone else. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but it is. It's very liberating.
Now, do you have a series of like winches and pulleys in your house so you can?
I wish. My son will not allow it. I've already asked him if we can change the basement into a dungeon. He said no.
Wow. So he knows about all this.
Oh yeah, I'm very open with my son. We have an extraordinary relationship. We are very honest with each other. We have no secrets. You know, and it's like, all right, Mom's got her red bag of tricks, and I'm going out for the night. Do I look slutty enough? Yeah, Mom, you look super slutty. Thanks, boo. Gotta go. I may or may not be home. You know.
My bag is black.
Yeah.
It's a big black bag.
But it works twofold because when he pisses me off, I take all the controllers for his Xbox and I hide them in the red bag because he will not go in the red bag because he knows what's in the red bag. Seriously.
Really?
Yes. And he even said to me one time, he's like, "They were in the red bag, weren't they?" I'm like, "Yep." He's like, "Yeah, I'm not going in there." I'm like, "I know. That's why I put him in there."
Wow.
So, yes, I'm very, for the most part, very open and honest with my sexuality and who I am and what I like. And, you know, I have no qualms walking up to a hot guy and going, "You want to fuck?" I'll do it. I've done it. Oh, by the way, I'm kinky. And then their face lights up and they're like, "Hey."
There's a lot of, there's so many people out there who are living this
You don't
life.
really like me to do that? Lee would really like me to do
Lee
that.
would love me to do that.
Who's that?
I don't know if I want to say his full name. But yeah, there's so many people who are living a life where they are genuinely interested in this, or just, even like just like something like rope or handcuffs or role play or something, or just lingerie, for that example. You know, there's so many people who would want to experience it, even just as an experiment, just because as an interest, and they're scared to, or they're with somebody or married to somebody who they're scared to ask. And that was like the beauty of the relationship I had with Lynn. Like, we could ask each other to do anything. It got to a point where, like, I might be interested in this, or I'm looking at it. We had a saying where it's, you know, you really love somebody when you know you don't have to delete your browser history.
Right.
I like that.
And it's true, because it's like, it got to a point, instead of hiding, you know, porn from her or different kinks from her, we expressed it, like, let's try this, and like, let's try this, and we tried it. If we liked it, it was great. Let's go forward. If not, we tried it, and they were like, okay, no, it's not my thing. But we at least tried it, and we at least shared, you know, the joy of experimentation, and the whimsical nature of, you know.
You know what it is?
What can we do next?
It's intimacy on a whole different level. It's an intimacy of the mind that is, you know, better than just physical intimacy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's like a total glimpse of the heart by Bonnie and Tyler or something.
Turn around, bright eyes.
Not
That's right. Wow. So, like, do you find, like, where are your interests now? Like, what haven't you explored yet? This is for both of you. Like, what haven't you explored enough that you want to explore more of? Or is it pretty much you've done everything you want to do and you just keep on going back to the stuff you like? Or is there other things that you haven't had to cross off your bucket list yet that you'd like to explore?
in the kink world.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just always interested in new things. I'm not. I don't. I'm just always interested in new things. So I do continue what I've always done, or what I've been doing. Let's put it that way. But I'm like always open-minded to new things. That does not mean I'll do anything.
Right.
But I'm just open-minded, interested in new things. So, like, I'm always on to the next. I'm looking for something that might interest me. And then you want to say what you want to do?
Well, I'm working on a 5-guy gangbang. That's my bucket list. I'm working on it. It's hard to find 5 guys, you know, and coordinate schedules and everything. So, yeah.
Five decent, good human beings.
Yes.
Men.
I'm not going to go pick 5 scumbags off, you know, the street. And then, as I said to you earlier, I have a gentleman friend that we've been playing with ropes a lot. So we're talking about doing some consensual, non-consensual play.
What's that?
Rape play.
Oy.
It's consensual, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I would like to play with a violet wand at some point.
You never did that?
Not really, no, because I think like anything, once you start building up a tolerance, you're going to get to that point where you're going to max it out, and then it's just not enjoyable anymore. A violet wand gives off little electrical.
You could. I think you could even. Yeah, you can. You could see it. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, you go to like the like a science fair and you see like something. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Remember those class trips to Liberty Science Center?
Liberty Science Center, Franklin Institute.
Yeah. So I'd like to try that at some point. But then that requires somebody who's like really proficient with. That's not something I just want to like.
Yeah, electrical
let's play
engineer.
with this, you know?
Yeah. Somebody would need to be licensed and bonded to do that.
No, but just somebody who knows what they're doing with them, you know.
Have you either of you ever been like put on metal hooks and hung in the air, like hooks that have pierced your skin? I've seen that on TV.
No, that's not really a kink thing. I don't think.
It could,
well, I
yeah,
guess it could be. But no, I've been chained by my wrists to the ceiling of a dungeon.
That's like in Lethal Weapon. They did that to Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, I think.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm trying. Hung from hooks? No.
So yeah, Lethal Weapon.
I had an anal hook in my ass once. That was fun.
You had a butt plug? Is that what you said?
No, I haven't.
She did not say butt plug.
No, an anal hook.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Oh yes, and he actually had my hair back, so he had it like tied. So as I was blowing him and my little head was bobbing, it was, you know, jerking on. That was really fun too.
Oh,
didn't hurt.
No, it actually felt really good.
So it was a hook, like a fish hook in your ass.
It's not sharp like a fish hook, It's more rounded and blunt, but yeah, that's what they're called.
And is it just sitting there, or is he holding the other end, manipulating it?
Well, that's it. He had it tied to my hair.
Oh, I see. I see.
So as I was blowing him and my little head was bobbing, it would, you know.
All right, look, I'm going to ask you a real question. Ethan, have you had anything in your butt ever?
No.
Even a finger?
Come on,
No,
you
no.
ever tried anything just a little fun? A
No.
blindfold, play with a little ice?
Oh wait, hold on. Do I need light, by the way, or is it am I too dark?
We can't see you at all.
Yeah.
Just a shadow.
Yeah, so you can
Man.
confess like you're
Like I'm in the confessional?
yeah, like it was this America Undercover things.
Yeah.
Your voice all changed like, well,
Yes, I have had a butt hook in
I'm
my
not
asshole.
On the spot, I'm just saying, you know.
Hold on. Let me turn the light on. Hold on. One second.
everybody watching this, I want you to send Ethan messages and tell him what to do with his butt.
Here we go. That's a little better, right?
It is you.
Yeah, it is me. Sorry. Half the show I was in darkness. So yeah, I mean, you want a list? I mean, I've never had anything shoved up my ass. Never had any desire to, really. It's like when you get to be my age, it's hard enough to even poop, let alone accept something back in the other end.
I just had a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Don't knock it till you try it.
I'm sure it's wonderful. I'm sure it's a little bit of heaven. I mean, ice, tied up, whips, fruits. You know,
like whipped cream and strawberry.
Yeah. That whole thing, yeah. But yeah, I mean, nothing like you know, nothing crazy. I mean,
I just had this like vision of you saying like, yeah, I didn't really do much crazy, but except the time where we picked up a hitchhiker and we all like had sex with him in some shed.
Yeah.
What?
And then we ripped him apart.
And we ate
him, and we buried the remains along Route 1 and 9. That's the thing. Why is it always Route 1 and 9? Why don't they refer to them individually? It's always routes 1 and 9.
Well, they intersect.
Yeah.
It's the same with 202, 206.
Yes.
That's right.
6.
You know.
New Jersey.
Sucks.
Represent. So when are you guys coming to Florida?
As soon as you buy us a ticket.
Yeah, really can't really afford it right now.
You're making that big G money now, Nicholas. You're back rocking, right?
No. I'm working. Getting some work done. I'm working on a new book, which takes place after The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself, and it's a tribute to the friends of the BDSM fetish community in New York and New Jersey. Luna's in it.
Yeah.
And she tells some stories, and
You tell the stories.
I tell the stories, but
to me, it's just a normal conversation.
Yeah.
You're the one who finds them amusing.
And no, but so I'm trying to. And keep in mind, like, I don't live this lifestyle 24/7. I don't have a dungeon in my basement. I don't, I don't have like slaves, female. I don't have that, or I'm not a slave to somebody, or anything like that. I'm a normal person. I go about my business every day.
Right.
I work. I write. I'm more interested in creating art and writing and getting that out there,
right,
in networking. But I do love the BDSM fetish community, especially the people in the New Jersey and New York BDSM fetish community. They're really wonderful, wonderful people, and
they're really honest people, which is nice.
Yeah. And and just because someone, you got to go into with the attitude that your kink may not be my kink, but that's okay. You know what I mean?
What is the farthest either of you've ever driven or traveled for an encounter?
For me is New York.
Oh, so nothing. What about you?
Personally, there's a little place down in Trenton, which is probably hour and a half.
Okay.
What Trenton makes, the world takes.
That's right.
Hellfire it's called.
Oh, Hellfire.
And yeah, that's the dungeon that had me chained to the ceiling. That was fun.
Nice. I so want you to tell your mother.
No.
Come on, what could it do? It's not like, you know.
I don't think she wants. It's just like my mom. Like, you know, I used to do tons of drugs. You know, she suspected it, and eventually she found out. And now that like I came clean, I mean, I wrote a book about drug use, about addiction, and about tons of really, really kinky sex, and it's out there for the whole world to see and read. You know, my mom's not going to read it. She doesn't want to read it.
Parents,
you know what I mean?
Parents have this attitude that what you do is a direct reflection on me.
Yeah.
And, you know.
But it's also like she doesn't like for example.
It's like a don't ask, don't tell.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm not like I have like I said I have a black bag full of toys and stuff, and you know, but I'm not going to like bring it to Thanksgiving and show it to her. So
I have been accused of leaving them around the house.
Have you?
Yeah, my son was like, he'll text me. I'll be at work. I'll be like, Mom, why is there a big vibrator sitting in the living room? I'm like, oops, sorry.
Can he move it? Can he put it back in your room, or is he not to touch it till?
I think by his choice, he
doesn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, every now and then he'll be like, oh, Mom, you left something in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, sorry, you know.
Have you met her son?
No, I have not.
Oh, that's true.
Wow.
I have not.
He's very good.
I'm sure he is.
Did you know Lynn?
No, I did not.
Okay. See?
We met after we met because she read my book.
No.
Oh, really?
No. Yeah,
We
we met on FET for that interview.
Because your friend was doing her kinky
corner, yeah.
blog. And so
I showed her the book.
And then I read the book, which profoundly touched me because you have Lynn and I have Luke and very somewhat similar circumstances.
Then we became wonderful friends, yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
Nicholas is part of my kinky family.
Yes.
I'm glad you guys were able to get together to talk to me about this.
And no,
Awesome.
just in case you're curious, we don't fuck. Just saying.
I asked already. Yeah, I asked. I said, you know, I was probably your closest male friend you didn't fuck back in high school. I hung in there though. I hung in there for a long time.
We went to the prom together.
Yes, we did. There was one time where she was kind of wasted and on my bed, and I went to kiss her, and she said, "Don't." And it was at one of these sort of moral compasses, like, you know, a road less traveled. You know, I could turn left and be a typical fucking teenage American asshole, or I could turn right and stop. And I turned right and I stopped. So
that's the right thing to do. I'm proud of you.
Because I'm a mensch. I'm a nice Jewish boy. I'd rather be spiritually assaulted for the rest of my life. Like, why did that woman I want Dave Laddie more than me? But what are you gonna do? That's the way life.
Weird, man. He was just like that weird nerdy kid, and that's what appeals to me.
He has the Asperger's though. He's got to have the Asperger's, and he has soulless eyes.
That could be what it is.
And he's got that pigmentation issue.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
All right. I don't know.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know.
Watching this podcast.
He could be watching this podcast right now. Yeah, I don't know. So no, there you go. Yeah, you and me both. We've never fucked Luna Vachon.
Okay.
Dark.
You should start a club.
Yeah. It's on my bucket list one day if I'm ever widowed or something like that. But
I was gonna say, I don't think your wife would appreciate that.
yeah, Vicky, if we're 85, I'll meet you at the
at the hospital because because there are hospital restraints there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. So, all right. I think we know a little bit more about BDSM. I think we do.
Yeah, people go to FetLife, FETLIFE.com. Check me out. I'm on Facebook. You can go to The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself is a book. It's not just about BDSM. It's an honest, true love. Lots of drugs, sex, and the rave scene. Check out thecoolestway.net. It's a brand new. It still needs some work, but
is it up now?
Yes, it is up. I'm not like launching it. Like I'm basically launching it on your show right now.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
I'm almost tempted to say, if anybody goes to FET and mentions to me, send me a PM that they watch the podcast, free blowjob.
There you go.
Oh, come on. In my world, the blowjob is like the equivalent of like a hug. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
there you go. So if you go to fetlife.com, and how do they find you?
You have to log. You can't look at other profiles
Yeah, you need a profile.
without having a login ID. So you go in. It's free, 100% free.
Mm-hmm.
You go in. I'd suggest uploading a picture. I suggest giving yourself a relatively tasteful name.
Yeah. And take a few minutes to actually
fill out the
your
profile. Fill
That's a big
out
red
the profile.
flag.
Yeah.
Big red flag. I love when I get those messages from guys, and it's like, they say they're from Antarctica, they're 95 years old, there's like one picture and it's some meme they downloaded, they've got nothing in their profile, they've got no kinks listed or fetishes, they're not a member of any group, and it's like, you need to spend a little more time on FET, and then once you've got some experience on your belt and you're familiar with the site.
Most of all, guys, men, be a gentleman.
Yes.
Don't like if you think you're all dominant and there's a woman who's a submissive, don't just like send her a message and say, get on your knees, you're gonna suck my cock, you're gonna do what I say, or don't, whatever you do, don't just send dick pics. Don't just have a dick pic as your profile. You know what I mean?
And this is why I have the application, because
yes, exactly.
I am a submissive, you may be a dom. I am not your submissive, and you are not my dom. Therefore, you do not have the right to try and dominate me.
Yeah, a lot of guys that get the wrong idea, and most of my friends are women, and that's one of their main complaints.
Yeah.
I like there's just these scumbag men just bombard me with messages.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can imagine the femdom women out there, the women who are not professional dominatrixes, but who just like the femdom lifestyle of them being the ones in charge and having a very, very submissive, sexually submissive man. They get bombarded because they outnumber, the men outnumber the women. Like the submissive men outnumber the women. Like I'd say, like what, almost 100 to 1. It's insane.
Yeah, that's something we didn't really talk about, the ratios there, because in the community, most men are dominant, most women are submissive. So when that role is reversed, there's a huge supply and demand issue.
And when Lynn passed away, I was really in a state of mind where I mean, because we were dealing with femdom, and I wanted to be sexually submissive, but I'm not submissive as a regular person. I'm a dominant person in real life. So I felt so alone, and so like I felt like I'd never meet anyone remotely like that, you know. And luckily, I did. I met a bunch of women who were, but I was respectful and I was smart, and I wasn't just about sex, and I was just honest. The main thing about the BDSM fetish community is just be honest, like in everything, like seriously with everything, not just your sexuality and your sexual fetishes, but like if you live in a certain state, make sure you live in a certain state. If you say that, you know what I mean. I've
talked to guys who will come back and be like, well, I'm
if you're married,
I'm 30 years old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
According to your profile, it says you're 25. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Goodbye. If you can't be honest about something as simple as that,
you're not going to be honest in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wow. And so we have a lot. We have a outline of what the BDSM community is about. We have an offer from Luna that if you sign up for
and God, don't be scumbags.
And you can reference something about this, like something. It would have to be something very, very obscure that I might have said, or you might have said at some point. We'll have to think about that offline. But
I can deep throat.
There you go. There's the potential for full oral to completion.
If they could reference the podcast where we talk about Meyer Lansky and Bader Meinhof.
Exactly. If they can recreate the banter that we did 2 weeks ago or last week, when you would ask me questions about being Jewish and I would be my father, and that was comedy gold right there. So that would lead to oral sex, or the potential for oral sex. So, which I think is what my father would have wanted. So, in the end,
at least get a questionnaire. How about that? Or an application.
Exactly. Yeah. Next year in Jerusalem, Anyway, all right. I got dogs here that look like they want to go outside for walks. I think it's. Is it anything you so coolest way to kill yourself? Chip black nail polish.
They're both on sale on Amazon, Amazon.uk. Kindle, you can get the book version. Go to thecoolestway.net. Yeah, and I'm writing a new book. So reach out to me. I'm very approachable.
Yes, he is.
Questions, reach out to me. You're not really on Facebook
at all.
You're not on Facebook, yeah, but I'm on FetLife. I'm under the name Witty Banter on FetLife. You can check me out there.
That is my only social media.
Are you currently accepting new applicants for new whatever partners or whatever?
At the moment, there's about 6 guys that I'm involved with, so probably, maybe not. It depends. It depends.
What about you, Nicholas, as far as the women in your life? Is there always room for another lady?
I'm just taking it as it comes. There's special women in my life, let's put it that way.
Lady, you're my knight in shining armor. I love you. Okay, that was like Kenny Rogers. Nobody knows Kenny Rogers anymore. Okay.
6-pack.
Exactly. The racing movie, remember that? I saw that twice.
They had like kids or something.
Exactly. They were orphans or something like that. They were tough kids. All right. Well, Luna, you look great.
Doesn't she?
There you go. What's going on for the rest of your day? Let's get a quick insight into the rest of your day, everybody. What's everybody doing with the rest of their day?
I'm writing. I gotta edit. My next book's not gonna come out till next year. It needs a lot of work, but I'm really excited about it. So I'm doing that. Then I'm going out and having a fun night.
Oh yeah, it's fun night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no one scheduled this evening, so I'm probably just gonna go home.
After this podcast, you might.
Yeah.
It's broadcasting live.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll probably go home and bust out with the toys and play for a little while, and then I don't know. Maybe take my son to the store and he can buy me the moon.
He can buy what?
He can buy me the moon.
Okay. Oh, is he gonna buy you like a present or something like that, or?
Yeah, we have a tradition every year for Christmas. He buys me fuzzy socks because I love my fuzzy socks.
Uh-huh.
In Jersey, it's always cold, and we were at the store a couple weeks ago, and I saw it's a moon, and it's like a half globe moon. And it hangs on the wall, and it operates. It shows like the phases of the moon.
Right.
Is that it? And I said, that's what I want for Christmas. So that's what he's going to get me for Christmas. And fuzzy socks because, it's tradition.
Oh, sweet kid.
Yeah.
That sounds great. And for me, I think from this, we're going to go from BDSM and anal hooks. I'm going to take my son to see The Good Dinosaur today because it was Tobin's birthday yesterday.
I want to go see Krampus.
It's the #1 movie. I want to see, The Good Dinosaur is the #1 movie in the country.
Is it?
I'm really curious about seeing Chirac. I'm curious about that.
What's that?
Spotlight. You know what Chirac is? Despite
no.
We're going to get into weird territory now. Because all the gun violence in this country, and please, let's not make this into a gun thing.
Yeah.
But Spike Lee made a movie that's based on a Greek play where, because in Chicago, it's incredibly violent with gun violence, all the women are fed up. So they basically say, we're not going to have sex with any men until they stop the violence and get rid of the guns.
Nice.
It turns out into this big.
We got the power.
And it turns it turns out into this kind of crazy worldwide phenomenon where the women just say, if you continue to be violent, if you continue to have guns, we're not going to fuck you.
Because what it all comes down to is men are very primal and men are controlled by sex, and we women hold the vagina. So. The vagina rules all.
It's a very, very old Greek play, and Spike Lee. I haven't seen it.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah,
Sounds interesting.
Samuel L. Jackson's in it. Yeah, and like most of the dialogues in like rhyme. Like,
oh wow!
Everything is it's supposed to be really surreal and really weird. I don't know. It just seems whether you like Spike Lee or not, you have to admit it's definitely an interesting idea for a movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm curious about to see Spotlight. I want to see that movie, Spotlight.
Oh, what's that? I don't know that one either.
Oh, that's a true story about the Boston Globe, who Michael Keaton's in it, Mark Ruffalo's in it, a whole bunch of people in it. It's about how they broke the controversy about the priest molesting children.
Oh, okay, all right. And I wanted to see the Johnny Depp Whitey Bulger movie. I
saw that.
How was that? Was that all right?
It's a little uneven. He gives a great performance.
Uh-huh.
It's a little uneven, but the second half is much better than the first.
Okay. See, that's my problem with directors now is everybody's too in love with themselves. Nobody knows how to edit. Nobody wants to say cut.
Tarantino.
Did you hear about the new one? The new one's gonna be like 3 hours long.
Yes.
He's a bit of a schmuck too. I don't know.
You cannot get enough of Tarantino.
I don't know.
I like him. I do like him.
I don't know.
But he also has a love of film, and I just have a love of film. Scorsese's movies are really, really long.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But a well-done movie that's 3 hours doesn't seem like 3 hours. So.
Yeah, I watch it in 2 parts usually.
Really?
Yeah, like Wolf of Wall Street, I watched that in 2 parts.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't
See,
like it.
Leo DiCaprio looks weird to me. He looks like a man boy or a boy man.
Yeah, I don't
And
like
I just can't get used to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of BDSM, there's some really interesting BDSM movies
Okay.
that I think people should check out.
All right. Let's hear that, and then we'll.
Number 1 is Preaching to the Perverted. Excellent movie. Guinevere, the woman who wrote American Psycho movie, the film the one who wrote it.
That's a very amusing movie.
Yeah, the woman who gets murdered, she's on the floor, and she's like, who's got coke? Who's got coke? She's really pretty. She's a lesbian. She plays the dominatrix, American dominatrix in London. And in London, they're trying to shut down the sex clubs. Preaching to the Perverted, great movie. There's another, if you like Monty Python.
Yeah.
There's not Terry Gilliam. Who's Jones? The guy with the last name Jones.
I think he was Terry Jones.
Terry Jones. I believe he directed it. He directed a movie called Personal Services, which is about a down-on-her-luck woman in London who starts a whorehouse, a fetish whorehouse in her apartment. It's great. It's excellent. It's hard to find, but it's worth it. And it's very funny and it's very quirky. If you like Monty Python, you'll dig it. There's that. Of course, there's The Story of O, which is just Jason, which is always interesting. The book's better, of course. Short Bus is a very fun movie. Short Bus is a great movie. He's from the same director and writer who did Hedwig the Angry Inch.
Oh yeah, John Cameron Mitchell or whatever.
Yeah, and it's really about the New York fetish community, and the different stories that take place. It's like one of these Robert Altman, like there's so many different narratives happening at the same time. They all come together at the end. And there's a lot of sex in it. There's tons of nudity, sex, and some unsimulated sex in it as well. It's like they're really doing it. Yeah. What else? There's Base Moi, which is insane. It's French. It's incredibly violent, and it also has a lot of unsimulated sex in it. It's like Thelma and Louise on Angel Dust. What else? What? Shame is interesting. Michael Fassbender's Shame. It's about sex addiction. You like Michael Fassbender?
Don't know.
You don't know? You know who Michael Fassbender is, right?
I know the name. I can't picture the
He's
face.
Magneto in X-Men. He was in Inglourious Bastards. He was in a lot of stuff. So there's that.
I didn't watch the new X-Men.
I didn't watch it either. But yeah. So check out those movies if you're interested. And, of course, Lars Van Trier, Nymphomaniac.
He's a dick. He's such a douche. That guy, man. You ever see the? I'll leave you with it. You ever see the clip of him with Kirsten Dunst sitting next to him? He's talking about how he doesn't like the Jews and stuff like this at some press conference in Cannes and stuff like that.
Joked around saying that he sympathized with Hitler, or he kind of understood something like that. Yeah, he did it. That was really shitty of him. But
I think a little of it might have been a language thing, but he just kept on going on and on and on. And I guess the more nervous he got, the longer he talked. And Kirsten Dunst is just smiling there with her chipped teeth, like.
You know that Bjork, Lars Van Trier did a movie called Dancer in the Dark. And it is a heartbreaking movie. It's Bjork's only movie. You know who Bjork is, right?
Of course, I know who Bjork is.
Check this movie out, Dancer in the Dark. You will be destroyed by the end of it. As a director, he broke her down so hard that she refuses to ever do another movie again. And she does an amazing performance. He got this magnificent performance out of her, and it is like even like hardcore people, if they go through the whole movie, they'll be devastated.
Wow.
Dancer in the Dark.
See what we learn about when we all get together. Isn't this great?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
People.
Keep it real. Keep writing.
Thank you.
Keep having kinky sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luna, it's always a pleasure. Let's keep in touch because I've known you a long time, and Nicholas, our budding bromance continues. So
Bye, lover.
And let's do it again sometime. This was fun.
let's do it. All right. Hey, that's the podcast, everybody. Not to my guests, but go fuck yourself to everybody else out there. And thank you, Luna, and thank you, Nicholas.
Keep it open-minded and creative heart.
That's right. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.